Welcome, folks, to this edition of the 700 Club. X-rated sex and critical race theory. That's what's being taught to children in Loudoun County, Virginia public schools. Early this week, a school board meeting erupted into a hot mess with 2 people arrested. So what are parents doing to stop the brainwashing of students by the far left? Senior Washington correspondent Tara Mergener brings us the latest on this explosive controversy.
This is Loudoun County. Not only is it the wealthiest in the country, it's also become ground zero for public school controversies nationwide. Loudoun voices are among the loudest, with a growing number of parents insisting the system is indoctrinating their children with an anti-American agenda. About an hour west of D.C., Loudoun is famous for rolling hills, wineries, and staggering growth. These days, however,
today, instead of focusing on the hate that seems to be dripping off the followers of Jesus in this room,
it's getting headlines for explosive school board meetings.
There are people like me and a line of other people out there who will gladly take your seat and figure it out.
Where irate parents read X-rated book excerpts from the required school reading list.
He had a big and sometimes a girl just needs a big.
They're perverted because there is no other rational or reasonable explanation for why adults would want to expose other people's kids to sexual content.
Accuse members of targeting traditional family values.
The school is immersed in this leftist ideology.
They're teaching essentially children to hate their parents.
And sound off.
They want to divide us by the color of our skin.
On what critics call a divisive race curriculum.
CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color.
Week after week.
Then why do you have Black Lives Matter? Have all lives matter.
Meetings as heated outside as in.
Enough of the toxicity and the division and looking at your skin color and your skin color.
One group insisting students are used to push politics.
I was taught at a very young age what to look for in socialism. What do? They go right to the children.
The other trying to drown them out.
Why does this offend you? Why do these 3 words offend you?
While some parents are behind the school board,
to stop turning equality into a weapon.
Calls continue to grow from others who say it has got to go, as volunteers collect signatures to recall 6 of the 9 board members.
Fight for Schools is going to fight for Loudoun County students, parents, and teachers.
Because all eyes are on Loudoun County.
We get outreach from places all across the country asking how they can replicate what they're doing here.
Topping the list of complaints, that Loudoun is part of a national effort to push critical race theory.
They've just been tricked into something that not many black people are into.
Which opponents say teaches all institutions are racist.
We're just trying to let everybody know what these people are doing, and they're trying to, you put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Though an LCPS spokesman denied several of our requests to interview Interim Superintendent Scott Ziegler, Ziegler publicly insists its equity plan is not critical race theory. We also caught up with 2 school board members clearly at odds. How is critical race theory different than the equity plan?
Well, they're not the same, period.
Can you give me one sentence that tells me what the difference is?
I think it's a one sentence. It's complicated.
Do you think that they're injecting critical race theory if you had to make your own analysis?
They're encouraging teachers to at least think about it and to put it as an influence of their teaching.
Some parents are suing administrators over race-based initiatives in the plan they claim could stifle free speech and discriminate.
One of their equity groups, which I don't really agree with because I actually got rejected joining that group because I'm white.
They are doing a lot of their dirty work through teachers.
In this virtual Zoom meeting obtained by CBN, we see and hear a group of teachers and the local NAACP's educational chairwoman discussing ways to get school board members in their camp.
She especially has a heart for special needs kids.
And I can frame most issues on race in a disability rights framework, too, to speak to her in that way.
I will say that Leslie and Ian both ran on the Democratic ticket in the last year, so they did. They better act right.
Another sensitive subject for many parents and even educators here, perceived attacks on religious freedom, like LGBTQ books they say are in kindergarten classrooms.
There's a lot of stuff in the classrooms that are kind of but they're there.
Then in May, an elementary gym teacher placed on administrative leave for saying this.
But I serve God first, and I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it's against my religion.
Per order of a judge, Tanner Cross is back to work. The fallout still spilling over into a local pulpit.
They are emotionally abusing our children by perpetuating the lie about gender confusion when they affirm pronouns that are contrary to biology, reality, and the beautiful design of God. So they need to be held accountable.
As local Democrats demand Pastor Gary Hamrick recant his comments, Tanner's congregation is lining up in support.
As they see this liberal progressive agenda infiltrating our school system, the parents should rise up and say, we don't like the people who are making these choices, and if they want to replace them, they should not only replace them, but they should themselves want to run for the school board and get in people that they can support and who will better represent their values.
Tara Mergener is joining us now. Tara, you know, this is Virginia. Where do these people come from? What planet are they from?
Well, if you're talking about the groups of people who oppose critical race theory, there are people from Loudoun County. The school board members are members also of the Loudoun County community. Over the years, there's been a lot of influx into this traditionally conservative area of people coming from other states, moving into this more rural area. And over the years, it's become less conservative and more liberal. And a lot of the critics say what's happening here is a result of newer people coming into the community and going against traditional family values, trying to impose theirs on those who are already there.
Tara, there's a recall petition going out. What the school board is doing is absolutely outrageous. Do you think they will be recalled?
It's possible. As you look at the numbers of people at these rallies against critical race theories and other things going on in the school system being proposed and trying to be implemented by the school board, the numbers are growing. So right now, I am told they've collected Fight for Schools. That's a political action committee that's organized this effort, has collected about 10,000 signatures. About a month ago, there were 2,500. And how it works is that for every of the 6 school board members that they want to recall and unseat, they've got to get a certain percentage of the people that voted in the last election. So they are getting a lot of signatures and a lot of people signing on to volunteer also to collect these signatures. The problem is that in Virginia, it's really tough to recall officers of any kind. So since 2010, there have been 19 or so recall efforts, and only 1 person has been unseated. But the other thing, too, is the judge that they get can dismiss this for insufficient evidence. So even if they get the signatures and there's a lot of support behind it, a judge can essentially dismiss the case. Hard to tell.
This critical race theory is bad news for the Democrats. How do you think the Republicans are going to play it in the election?
Well, certainly they are seeing this movement against it. So their goal right now is to capture this national movement. Donald Trump is among them. There's a big effort right now to collect money. People are signing on to get the word out about what critical race theory is all about, according to Republicans and critics. And so the Trump administration and other Republicans are seeing a big opportunity potentially here for the midterms and 2024. And get other people behind, getting rid of critical race theory, preventing it in schools and in the community.
Tara, you did a terrific job. Thank you so much. Tara Mergener, ladies and gentlemen. And in my, what is critical race theory? We did a whole piece on that and had a brilliant African-American professor from Vanderbilt University give us the story. What is it that the people of color have been oppressed by the white people, and the white people begin to be racist by the time they're 2 or 3 months old, and therefore the people of color have to rise up and overtake their oppressors and then, having gotten the whip handle, if I can use that term, then to instruct their white neighbors how to behave. Now, that's critical race theory, and it sets people against one group against another. It is totally divisive, and as has been said, this is the way the communists take over. They try to destroy the children. It is a monstrous evil. And you hear it sounds like, oh, critical race theory, that's okay. No, it's not. It doesn't want to have your children in the 3rd grade indoctrinated into a hate group so that he'll wind up hating people or hating himself. And so the white people are supposed to feel guilty, and they're supposed to have white guilt, and the people of color are supposed to cleanse them of that guilt by taking over. It is a monstrous evil. And to see what's happening in Loudoun County, and it's not just that, then they're putting into the curriculum pornography. They're making these people read pornographic texts when they're just little kids. I mean, it's awful. So I wish those folks in Loudoun County success, but realize this is a movement across the nation because the schools are being used all across America to indoctrinate your children at your expense.